So, I watched Fabio Wardley versus Justice Huni last night. What are my thoughts? Well, it felt like a very historical night for Fabio Wardley. If this was definitely a fight that was going to make him or break him, and it definitely looked like it was going to break him. I thought before the fight, I thought his body language was better. His eyes reminded me of those really historic eyes AJ had before he fought Dillian White for the first time. Obviously, body language isn't everything, but he had those eyes where you look in his eyes and you're like, oh my god, he wants to kill someone. I was looking at Fabio before the ring walk. Yeah, his eyes were cold, his eyes were menacing. I was like, okay, Fabio's head's in the right place. He definitely looked the part. I thought his gladiator-esque costume was really cool. I enjoyed both the ring walks. But then he got in the ring and yeah, it was very hard to give him a round. Obviously on the zone, Carl Frampton gave the first two rounds to Fabio Wardley, which I thought was surprising because I definitely struggled to give him a round. I thought maybe the third round, but even then that was probably a swing round. But as I said, I think this is the night that if Fabio Wardley goes on to become further, this would be like, look, this is the night that made Fabio Wardley winners find a way to win when they're losing. You know, obviously you can criticize him for boxing badly and having really not a lot of defense. You know, his hands were really low, which is really hard to do unless you're Floyd Mayweather. But I don't want to focus on negatives. Winning when all the cards are stacked against you like that is, you know, you have to have the mindset of a winner, a champion. So you have to give Fabio Wardley all the credit for that. Yeah, I really wasn't sure if I had it in him. I was looking at his body language and he was looking really dejected, you know. Sometimes when boxers are down, they look angry, they look frustrated, they've got a lot of pent-up aggression, but he looked all wrong. His body language was really down. He was sort of, you know, feeling sorry for himself. There's always that famous MMA clip where, you know, Leonardo was like, Leon, don't feel sorry for yourself. But Fabio Wardley got it done. It's just such a cruel sport, isn't it, boxing? Like, you switch off for 2 seconds and the 10 rounds of hard work is all undone. So I felt really bad for Justice Huni, but he held himself really well. Like, what a gentleman, you know. He lost and he didn't throw his toys at the pram. It really did question how, you know, Tyson Fury's character, you know, after he loses, he blames the war for, you know, his decision. He claims he was robbed, but, you know, Justice, who had every right to feel hard done by because he was just unlucky, you know, just switched off for 2 seconds. He said, look, Fabio was the better man. Fabio's a free champion. You know, I'm going to keep my head up and come again. Like, I just thought Justice Huni held himself like a true gentleman, true warrior. Like, he held that warrior code just really, really well. It was a very exciting night. And obviously the point of this video was the fight just reminded me so much of Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. I thought Huni's style was a little bit Tyson Fury-esque in places. You know, he's very herky-jerky. He'll hit you with a feint and then he'll come around on the other side. You know, it was so reminiscent of Fury Wilder 1, you know, Fury outboxes him, but then he gets hit, but then, you know, he gets dropped by one punch. It was so similar, wasn't it? It was the end of the fight, you know, he was probably getting fatigued. He didn't even look too tired up to that point. He was standing up in the corner, he was looking good. So yeah, obviously my initial reaction was I was just heartbroken for Huni, you know. He boxed so well and he was, 2 rounds away from success, but boxing's a cruel sport. It can do this to you, you know. We all remember Lee Wood versus Mickey Conlan. You know, how close was Michael Conlan to winning? Cruel sport boxing. But yeah, respect to Fabio Wardley. You know, finding a way to win when you're that far down is not easy. And look, respect to Justice Huni. He held himself like a true champion. And as I said, boxing's got a new Deontay Wilder. I think when you've got a lack of amateur pedigree, power really helps. And yeah, we could have a new Deontay Wilder on our hands. Do I think Fabio Wardley's going to get a world title? I don't know if he beats Usyk or Dubois, just because Usyk doesn't make any mistakes. I think if you get hit by Dubois the way Huni was hitting you, I don't think you get up. I think no matter how good your chin is, I think you get dropped. AJ had a good chin. But yeah, just an exciting night of boxing. I thought the event was good. Ipswich looked packed. The undercard was decent. I only watched the most recent fight, but it was a decent scrap. The latest one, but I wasn't that interested in the rest of the card. Obviously, Keyshawn Davis's fight got cancelled, which was a bit disappointing because I was excited to watch this fight. But I just finished watching Jara Pataya's fight against Skio. It was scary. Like, the knockout wasn't scary, you know. He didn't lose consciousness, but Skio caught him clean a few times, but he didn't blink. He didn't look Jai didn't look out of breath at any point. Like, I could see him in the corner. His breathing was really controlled. He barely looked like he got out of sixth gear. Like, you could tell from round one, there was no doubt in Jai's mind that he was going to win this fight. He didn't get out of like gear 6 and he knocks him out and broke his jaw. Like, it was crazy, and it just looked like he was going through the motions. He didn't even show any emotion when he won. He looked stoic. His face was just, shook his hand and just like moved on with business. Like, that is just scary, man. He didn't even celebrate when he fought badly. Literally broke the guy's jaw. Well, I think that's not been confirmed. And just got on with it. Like, it was terrifying, but all credit to Jai. I think at the moment he's the best cruiserweight fighter, but obviously we do want to see him in there against Sado Ramirez. So yeah, there is my review of the weekend's boxing. I haven't seen Callum Simpson's fight yet, but it sounds like he was in quite a good fight, so I'm going to watch that soon, and I'll probably do a video about that. But yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye.